Good evening. The September 26, 2017 meeting of the Marion County School Board is called to order. For the courtesy of those listening to the meeting, I am requesting everyone in the audience please turn off your electronic devices or put them on vibrate. Later in the meeting, up to 30 minutes will be provided for individuals to address the board on matters concerning the operation of the Marion County school system or the school board only. Presentations to the board are limited to 5 minutes and are televised. If you wish to address the board regarding a regular agenda item on matters on which the board customarily takes action, you must first complete a peach form located on the table on the hallway. If you wish to address the board regarding a public hearing or a student discipline matter, please complete a lime green form. These forms must be fully completed and received by the board secretary no later than 5:40 p.m. The procedures applicable for each are on a separate sheet. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Nancy Stacy, District 1. Here. Mr. Bobby James, District 3.
Here.
Ms. Angie Boynton, District 4.
Here.
Mrs. Beth McCall, District 2.
Here.
Mrs. Kelly King, District 5.
Here.
Dr. Heidi Mayer, Superintendent.
Here.
Mr. Paul Gibbs, School Board Attorney.
Here.
Thank you. Mrs. Rose Cohen, Director of Equity Assurance, please introduce those in attendance who will be providing the inspiration and leading us in the pledge today.
Good evening. Thank you. I'd like to have all my team members to come. Jan Hathaway, Jeff Englehart, and Mr. John. Come on up. Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent, Mayor, and Attorney Gibbs. Thank you very much. I'd like to read an inspiration to you. As my inspiration, I'm going to present 3 beautiful quotes, which I believe is very fitting. The first one is by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, and it reads, "He who is different from me does not impoverish me, he enriches me." Our unity is constituted in something higher than ourselves in man. For no man seeks to hear his own echo or to find his reflection in the glass. The next quote is by Gene Roddenberry, and it says, "If a man is to survive, he will have learned to take a delight in the essential differences. The differences between men and between cultures. He will learn that differences in ideas and differences in attitudes are a delight, part of life's exciting variety, not something to fear." And the last one is my favorite, and I like to use this on my children. As a matter of fact, during Hurricane Irma, being without power for a number of days, it was such a delightful time to get together with my younger grands and read stories and tell old fables. And this is one that I told them and tried to have them to interpret for me. And it's by Stephen Cosgrove, and it says, "Never judge someone by the way he looks or a book by the way it's covered. For inside those tattered pages, there's a lot to be discovered." Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have with me tonight a very, very important and essential group of individuals of whom I work with throughout the entire year. We are all, come on up, guys. We are all members of the Racial Harmony and Cultural Diversity Task Force, which is an organization founded by Councilwoman Mary Sue Rich, and that's backed by the city of Ocala. Councilwoman Mary Sue Rich sends her regards to you all tonight and regret wholeheartedly that she was unable to be in attendance. You probably remember this group by the name of One America, One Ocala, because that's the way we've come to you in years past. We have recently changed the program brand name. Jeff, do you have the banner?
Yes, I do.
We have recently changed the program brand name to be named REACH. REACH stands for Racial Equity and Cultural Harmony, which is very fitting. And that's our new logo.
Low budget special effects.
We are indeed grateful for the vision of Councilwoman Rich that she had over 16 years ago. A vision to make this community, Marion County, a community of inclusiveness by bringing together diverse citizens in order to promote racial harmony and to encourage appreciation and respect for the various cultural differences. And although we offer events throughout the entire year to support our mission, we use the first week of October to really zoom in and promote it wholeheartedly. And Jeff is going to come up and brief you on some of our upcoming activities that we'll soon be experiencing and enjoying, okay?
Hi, I'm Jeff Engelhardt. I'm the Community Special Events Manager for the City of Ocala. And so I have a lot of information here, but there won't be a test, so. I'm with the Racial Harmony and Cultural Awareness Task Force. We meet every third Wednesday of the month at our office at the Recreation and Parks Building at 828 Northeast 8th Avenue, 10 o'clock. So shout out if anybody's interested in joining. We'd love to have you. As Rose said, in October we have a couple different events. Tuesday, October 3rd at the Hilton, we have the annual Unity Breakfast, now in its 14th year. So we have a distinguished guest speaker with entertainment, breakfast, and we also have three different categories of award that we give out, the Mary Sue Rich Racial Harmony and Cultural Awareness Awards. One is for an individual, one is for an unsung hero, and one is for an organization. As part of that, we are also going to be highlighting, we had a poster contest for the local kids in the community, and the winner is here tonight. I'm going to let John Spencer speak about that shortly. So, and then on Friday, October 6th at Citizen Circle at 8 p.m., we're showing a movie. Each year we show a movie that focuses on the specific contributions of minorities to American culture or overcoming difficulties. This year, it's a great movie. It's Hidden Figures. I don't know if anybody's seen that. It's a wonderful movie. So if you're free, please come out. Free soda, popcorn. So, and then the following day, Saturday at Tuscaloosa Park, is the annual Ocala Cultural Festival. In the past, that's been held at Citizen Circle, but we're moving it. We're going to start that out, again, focusing on kids. We're going to have a parade of nations, sort of think of like a mini opening of the Olympics. So little kids with banners and flags and waving, and they'll march through the area. We have international entertainment. We have a demonstration booth where people can learn about karate and fencing and bagpipes and so on. We're going to have a history of sports area where kids can learn about the history of different sports through like what country they came from. Golf from Scotland and soccer from France and so on. Then on Thursday, I'm going to jump up a little bit. And Thursday, January 25th in 2018, we're starting a new event called The Longest Table. This has been tried in a couple other places around the country, but the purpose is to get strangers who want to break bread with other strangers and meet somebody new. That's the place to do it. They sit at random spots and tables, and there's questions that are placed on the table that people can discuss, and then we can come up with answers and review those. So it's a way to challenge people to rethink their assumptions and talk to people from other parts of town, other cultures, as a way to start a constructive dialogue. So we're really looking forward to that. That's going to be at the Silver Springs State Park. I don't remember what the name of that.
It's in
the conference room, the meeting area there. And then in February,
What's the date on that?
Silver Springs, I'm sorry, yeah, the Silver Springs State Park, I'm
What's the
sorry.
date on that?
That is on January the 25th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., which is a Thursday. And then lastly, in February, we have a special speaker for the Black History Month. Her name is Mclit Hadero Ethio. She's an American vocalist, a composer, and a cultural instigator. She has a really dynamic personality. We've seen her on videos on YouTube. So her performance is a combination of music and also speaking. We haven't settled on the topic yet, so that's coming up, and we'll have more details as we get a little bit closer. And with that said, I'd like to introduce John Spencer to talk about the poster contest.
Thank you, School Board. My name is John Spencer. I'm the Recreation Division Head with the City of Ocala Recreation and Parks Department. Earlier this summer, the city, along with the REACH organization, came up with the idea for a poster contest that was given out throughout all the community. Groups such as our summer camps, the YMCA summer camps, the Boys and Girls Club. And then we reached out to the school board, and the school board graciously allowed us to promote our poster contest throughout all the Marion County schools. And the idea behind the poster contest was to have kids help define our differences. And the question we proposed to the students through our poster contest is, how do we make our town special? So we wanted to know what made Ocala special to the kids in our community. So we had lots of various entries from the Boys and Girls Club, the various camps, and as well as many participants from the schools throughout Marion County. We actually chose 3 winners for the program. 2 of those are a group winner. The first one here is called Diversity Faces, and that was through Miss Joyce Guilfoyle, who is the art teacher at Bellevue Santos Elementary School. So you could kind of show the folks there. That was the first group winner. And there was a second one, which is called Diversity Hands, which is this one here, which is, again, by Miss Joyce Guilfoyle, the art teacher at Bellevue Santos Elementary School. And we chose those 2 posters because we thought they were unique because they were a group project through the art program at one of your schools. And they kind of took the idea, which we thought was an individual, but they collaborated as a group to kind of express how we're different, but also unique in that situation. Our overall winner, who is with us today, was an individual entry, and she attends Greenway Elementary School. So I'd like to bring up Sophia Lorenz. She is our winner. So if you want to pull out this poster right here. Sophia, come on over. So Sophia, she is a 5th grade student here at Greenway Elementary School, and this is her poster. Go ahead and you can face the board here. So this is her poster that we chose as the overall winner for our poster contest. Go ahead and hold that if you want. So what this poster is, we're going to use this throughout a lot of our publications, a lot of our events that Jeff just spoke about, as just kind of an inspirational image of what makes our town special. And Sophia is our winner. We're working on getting her poster framed, and we'll be presenting that to her at a later city council meeting. And then I'm sure the principals and the schools will do something special when that comes back out as well. And this poster will also be displayed at the breakfast that Jeff just spoke about, which is coming up on Tuesday. So with that said, I'd like to introduce Jan Hathaway, who is with the United Way Reading Pals program for just a little bit more information. All right, thank you, Sophia.
And in addition to what John said, Sophia's picture will also be used at the Longest Table event as placemats for us.
Oh,
So-
nice.
I wanted to share with you that diversity is important in our students, with our students, and so what we're hoping to do in January during Florida Literacy Week is to read this book, One World, One Day, which is pictures, photos of children experiencing life in different countries from sunrise to sunset. And we'll have someone from the community come and read during a regular scheduled Reading Pal session. And then a copy of the book will be left in the classroom for each of our Reading Pals program classrooms. We have 16 that we are in this year. The book is award-winning, and it will be an opportunity for the children to see exactly how everyone's the same. They all get up, they all have breakfast. It might not be the same, but we're all the same. Reading Pals kicks off on Tuesday, and we're all excited. Thank you.
Yeah. And one last note about the breakfast. We've submitted the list for all of the attendees who expressed an interest. The breakfast is by invitation only, so if you have received your Evite, please respond. Please do your RSVP to your Evite, okay? Thank you.
Comments? We're good.
Yeah,
Ms. Cohen?
Ms. Cohen,
You can't slip out that easy.
y'all thought y'all was gonna get away, didn't you? You know, every year, we come up with one Ocala, and Mary Sue Rich has been doing it for a long time.
Yes.
And I think when I think of Mary Sue Rich and her vision, and the vision for the city council and myself, I think of Mary Sue Rich as her days at Howard High School, She was there. And I know she has witnessed a lot in this county. And we are at a point where it's still here, and the work is still important for us to come together as one community. And I think this meeting, this year, is especially important, because we need to emphasize how important these things is. Even if they're not said, we need to express our desire to eliminate some of the things that we see in our community and we see it throughout the world. So again, I want to congratulate you, because I know you have been there, I don't know, from the dawn of it.
Not quite, almost.
But I just want to thank you and the city for really taking the lead on this and really getting us involved, and hopefully we'll get everybody involved. This is one of the things that we talk about when we talk about an interlocal agreement. This is something that we can all agree on. And when we talk about interlocal agreements, this could be one of the key things. I'd like to encourage everybody, if you have not had an opportunity to attend the Unity Breakfast, especially you new people, that it is a great thing, and you get a chance to really see Ocala. Thank you, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Kevin, can Sophia come up here and get a picture with the board? Dr. Mayer?
Would you like her up there, or do you want to come down here? She's down here and you're up there.
Yeah, let's go down. We'll gather around her.
Yeah. Go ahead, ladies.
My toe was hurting.
Do me a favor, and just go straight across. Don't do the crook. Take 2 steps this way, so Mr. James can join you. Very good.
Mayor.
With the exception of item 5.2, let me pause and say that was the SECO recognition, and they're still a little busy cleaning up from the hurricane, so they send their regrets and we'll get them in later. So with the exception of that recognition, which was item 5.2, which has been withdrawn entirely from the agenda, I make the motion to approve the agenda for the September 26, 2017 school board meeting with the materials in the board packet, those materials distributed to board members at the meeting, and the audio recording included as part of the official record of the meeting.
Okay, may I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Ms. Boynton. And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, and those that are opposed, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the August 9th, 2017 administrative briefing and work session?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. McCall, second by Ms. Boynton. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, and those that oppose, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the August 22nd, 2017 administrative briefing and work session?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Boynton, seconded by Mr. James. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, and those that oppose, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the September 5th, 2017 special school board meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Ms. Boynton. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, and those that oppose, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. Ms. Teresa Boston Ellis, Business Service, and Ms. Kristen Corrigan, Internal Auditor, please come forward and introduce those here this evening to be recognized for perfect bookkeeping audits.
As Christine comes, I just want to say a few things. First, good evening,
Good evening.
Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, board members, Madam Superintendent, Attorney Gibbs, and Mrs. Flockheader. We're so thankful for an opportunity to highlight what we believe is excellence in bookkeeping. And we want to thank you, Dr. Mayor. We can't stop thanking you enough because it was your idea to do this. And also it highlights to the other schools how important it is to work really hard at not only the curriculum side, but also keeping really good books and being fiscally responsible. So thank you.
Good evening, Superintendent, Mayor, and board members. Each of these schools achieved what we call a perfect audit. A perfect audit consists of having no findings for this school year, for the school year that they're being called up for, which means that they met every board policy that we have in place, the Florida statutes that are in place, and all of our Red Book requirements. The certificate they're receiving tonight says Award of Bookkeeping Excellence presented in recognition of achieving an audit with no findings for the 14-15 or 15-16 school year. It is signed by Dr. Mayer and our Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Teresa Boston Ellis. I'd like to call up the principal at Hammett Bowen Elementary during the 14-15 school year, Ms. Teresa Forsyth, and Secretary, Ms. Mary Kelly. Mary Kelly has done a great job at Hammett Bowen working with her teachers. She had almost 1,000 monies collected forms come in, and only one turned in late out of 1,000. So thank you again for doing a great job. Thank you very much. Oh, Ms. Forsyth.
Chairwoman King, board members, Dr. Mayer, Mr. Gibbs, Ms. Flockgetter. I'm happy to be here to speak on behalf of Mary Kelly. She's here for excellence in bookkeeping tonight, but she's so much more than that. She's a vital part of the school team. She takes ownership of the facility and makes sure it looks good all the time, and that's working with the custodians and seeing it through to the end. She even doesn't mind going out and cleaning out a few cabinets and shelves herself along the way, and I've seen her do that, and so she takes great pride in that. She's an office manager that sees that we have everything that we need for the office. She trains new staff in a way that they feel capable and valued at the school. She's a good steward of the district's money, and I remember when she washed and dried hundreds of lanyards. Yes. And untangled them all because she didn't feel like we needed to buy new lanyards every year, but it turned out great, and we saved some money that year, so she did an awesome job. And finally, she's that sympathetic listening ear for the staff. They come to her and they talk to her about life events, about things that are going on, and she's that person that they can come to and talk to. So she's a wonderful asset to Hammett Bowen and to the district, and she's very deserving of this award.
Stay up there, we'll get a group shot.
I'd like to call up the principal at Howard Middle School, Mr. Robert Hensel, and the current secretary, Diana Mangus. During the 15-16 school year, the secretary that was there was Irene Blanchfield. She was a great secretary and is now retired. So congratulations to Irene, and thank you for her dedication to our students. And Diana Mangus is here in her place.
Well, and she stole some of my thunder. Irene unfortunately retired, but fortunately we were lucky to work with such a consummate professional. Obviously it shows how much dedication and diligence she put forward to our audits. She was awesome to work with. I worked for her for 6 years, and luckily Mrs. Mangus got to train under her for the last couple of years, so that was a great asset to have her on staff. And hopefully all of Mrs. Blanchfield's words of wisdom have sunk into Mrs. Mangus, and we'll do a perfect audit again this year. No pressure. Okay, we're good to go.
I'd like to call up the principal at Ward Highlands during the 14-15 school year, Miss Melissa Kynard, and secretary, Miss Lana Phillips. And I say the year because these are the years that they've gotten the perfect audit for, just to be clear. I apologize. Lana does a great job with her staff and keeps them working closely with her, as she runs a lot of stuff there. She's collected, again, almost 800 monies collected forms. Not one was turned in late. Not one of them needed corrections, initials, or changes or anything for her school. Thank you for all you've done for Ward Highlands. Ms. Kynard.
Good evening. It's my pleasure and honor to take this opportunity to say a few words about Miss Lana Phillips, secretary at Ward Highlands Elementary. She is dedicated to her position. She takes her job seriously and professionally. She's put forth over 40 years of dedication into our school system. She puts an incredible amount of effort into her work. She takes the time to listen to staff, team members when they stop by her office, and it happens quite often. Lots of little interruptions during the day. Ward Highlands is a special place where everyone works together as a team. For the past 4 years, I had the privilege of working together with Miss Lana, where she helped us create a check and balance of all financial items. She took the time to ask questions, and she ensured that proper financial procedures were in place at Ward Highlands Elementary. She consistently works with our teachers and staff members to ensure all paperwork is filled out correctly, all 800 of those forms, money collected forms, and continuous paper trail procedures. Ms. Lana, congratulations on an awesome audit, and I have loved working with you the past 4 years.
And last but not least, of course, I'd like to call up the principal at Hillcrest School, Miss Lori Manresa, and the secretary, Miss Peggy Rich. We are pleased to tell you that Hillcrest had a perfect audit for both 14-15 and 15-16 school years. What a great accomplishment. Between the 2 school years, her work was flawless. You can see the great relationship that Peggy has with both her administration and her staff through the great work that she did. Congratulations.
Thank you. Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Mayor, Attorney Gibbs, thank you for the opportunity to share and highlight our secretary and bookkeeper, Ms. Peggy Rich. Peggy is part of the Hillcrest Magic, and if you remember the last time I was here, MAGIC stands for Making Amazing Groups of Individuals Connect. She's not only our school secretary, she's also our bookkeeper. Exceptional audits occur with communication, organization, and teamwork. Peggy is excellent at relaying all of those things, as well as the district policies and procedures with regards to finances for both internal and district budgets. She's also incredibly creative in streamlining the process to assist teachers in managing their budgets. You see, we may be the smallest school in Marion County, but we work very hard to support the students with many challenges that they face every day. And Peggy is no different. She's not only our bookkeeper, but she wears many hats throughout the course of the year, and she does it with pride and a smile to help our students, our staff, and our families. She is part of the pulse that makes Hillcrest happen. She and I have worked together 18 years. I know, that's crazy, right? Thank you, Dr. Mayor, for making that happen. 18 years. She completes my sentences and I intercept hers. I certainly could never do this without her. So on behalf of the entire Hillcrest team, we thank you for your dedication and your very hard work by presenting you with this. Thank you.
Thank you again very much. You can see how much the girls appreciate this for them, so thank you very much for that.
Now it's picture time.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Principals, if you'll stand behind your secretaries. The certificate. It's graduation day all over. Don't worry about the mom. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, thank you.
Ms. Suzanne McGuire, Director of Family, School, and Community Engagement, is also here to recognize a special donation. Or Dr. Ham is.
Thank you very much.
You've
Chair,
changed
board
since the last time
members,
I-
Superintendent, Attorney Gibbs. You may recall a few months back, we had an issue involving the continuing funding of the Kingdom of the Sun Concert Band and the use of the auditorium at Marion Technical Institute. And we were operating under a set of rules that was created a number of administrations back in terms of fees and charges for the use of that facility. And upon further review, we're happy to report that the music never stopped and that we were able to isolate the true cost of the use of that facility by looking at a meter on the building and reduce the charges for electrical consumption, and also to enable volunteers to supplant some of the labor that the school district was funding. But that left a big challenge in terms of the continuing operation of the Kingdom of the Sun as a tremendous asset for the community. So I'd like to introduce Susie McGuire, our Director of Family, Community, and School Engagement, to talk about the effort to provide funding for that specific purpose.
Good evening, board members, Madam Chair, Superintendent, Attorney Gibbs, Ms. Flockheader. The Kingdom of the Sun is such a wonderful community asset, and if you haven't been to a concert or haven't been to a Memorial Day program at the park, you really, or the Light Up Ocala Nights for the Veterans Park, you really should take time and go and listen to their concert, and they are just a great support. Also, in conversation tonight, we found out we have several students. The youngest, I'm sure they'll address, are 13. A couple of Howard Middle School students just recently joined the band. And we also have several school board employees who are also members of the band. So it was my privilege to work to try and find the best way that we could partner with the Kingdom of the Sun and keep them at MTI and keep concerts free to the community of over 1,000 people pretty much at every show that they play. So we had a couple of different ideas, and some of them sort of moved forward, and then I hit a roadblock and I said, okay, I need some advice. And I sought some advice from somebody that I think is one of the most community-minded, intelligent people I know. And I made a phone call to Mr. Stan Hansen, and I explained what was going on. And he said, well, let me explain what you've done, and then let's see what we can do. And I explained, as the Colonel shared with you, that we were looking at adjusting the cost to the Kingdom of the Sun, but there was still an expense to, electric and things like that. And Mr. and Mrs. Hansen so generously donated $10,000 to the school system to support the Kingdom of the Sun band. Now, originally, when I proposed that to them, it was for 1 year of concerts. But as you heard, since the reduction of the cost of the usage of the auditorium, it's going to carry the Kingdom of the Sun much further than just 1 year of free concerts. Now, I have a special presentation for Mr. Hansen, and I have some special guests helping me tonight. So if I could please have my special helpers to come up. And come right here and introduce yourselves. Are you going to do that? Who are you?
Hi, my name is Kenneth Price.
And you are? Gavin. And you are? Okay. Smile. Tell them who your brother is.
He is Trevor.
He is Trevor. So they're here for two reasons. One, just how adorable are they? And two, Daddy, who happens to be with the school system, actually plays in Kingdom of the Sun band. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand them a very special award, and I'm going to ask Mr. Hansen to come up and join me. And obviously, there's no way that this would be happening without your support and commitment. Turn around and look at Kevin.
Before Gavin.
So we have a very special award for Mr. Hansen.
Thank you very much. Shake my hand.
We practiced in the hall, so he's
He's a
good.
left hand.
Remember? There, okay. Okay. And this just says that the band plays on. So it's Marion County Public Schools from 2017. And
Thank you very much.
you can come up here. Now, I know that also the Kingdom of the Sun Band would like to recognize Mr. Hansen as well. So Mr. Muncaster, if you come up, absolutely.
Thank you. I am Les Muncaster, and I'm the conductor of the Kingdom of the Sun Concert Band, Superintendent, Mayor, and members of the school board. On behalf of the 91 members of the Kingdom of the Sun Concert Band, I want to take this time to thank you for the partnership and mutual support we have shared over the past 27 years, and the opportunity working together with you to continue our role as a viable member of the cultural arts community in Marion County for musicians and music lovers alike. I want to offer a special thank you to Suzanne McGuire and Dr. Ham for all your efforts, and express our sincere gratitude to Mr. and Mrs. Stan Hansen for the donation made to Marion County Schools on our behalf. It's been said that where words fail, music speaks. Well, there wasn't enough room to bring all 91 KOS members here tonight to thank you with music. But I would, on behalf of those members of the band, like to present to Mr. and Mrs. Hansen a small token of our appreciation and make you both honorary members of the Kingdom of the Sun Concert Band, which incidentally brings our numbers to 93. Thank you. Don't lose the pen. Thank you.
Thank you for this, and thank you, Suzanne, for that. When Martha and I found out that by the way, Martha couldn't be here tonight. She's suffering pneumonia and just got out of 6 days in the hospital with pneumonia in both lungs, and unfortunately, there are complications from that, but she would have loved to have been here, but she can't. When Martha and I found out about this, we had been to concerts over the years, but I talked to Dr. Mayer and I talked to Mrs. Stacy, and they kind of filled me in on the things that this band does above and beyond just their weekend performances, and I was really amazed at that. And it's one of the things that I said, well, we've got to keep that going some way. And that was one of the enthusiastic things about doing this for that. And as you know, those of you know, I've been here 19 years, my wife and I, and we've tried to do the best we can to make this a better place, a better community to work, live, and worship, and we have tried the best. I know sometimes people, because of my enthusiasm to try to do things, can take me in the wrong way, but anyway, I am who I am, and we are who we are. The one thing I'd like to tell the group here is next year, 2018, I'd like to start off with a nice positive. I know they're doing some things on their own to be able to raise more money, and I really salute them for that I think you made yourself a 501c3. Yes. Yeah. What I would do, as incentive in 2018, as you do your fundraising, my wife and I will match the first $10,000 of contributions that you receive dollar for dollar. So we're going to get you off to a good start, not just this past year and recuperating and recovering from the troubles you had, but hopefully that'll keep you going in the future. So that's our commitment to you for 2018.
Mr. Hanson, can you come back to the podium, please? You can't get out that easy either. Ms. Stacy.
I would like to thank you so much, Stan. Stan and I have the strangest friendship. And he's right. People like us are often just flat misunderstood. And our heart's always in the right place. Thank you a ton. Love you.
Thank you, Nancy.
I just want to say thank you for letting the music go on. Kingdom of the Sun is a tremendous asset to our community. So to you and Martha, you know how many times I call you on an annual basis for organizations. He has never told me no. So thank you, and Martha, for everything you do in our community.
You know, music is of interest to us, too. We're not musicians, but it is an area of interest. And just recently, I replaced Beth on the Ocala Symphony Orchestra Board of Directors. So we'll continue to, and we can work together. The Kingdom of the Sun Band and the Ocala Symphony can work together, I think, in a synergistic way. So, thank you.
You can't.
We're done.
We weren't done.
We were still.
Almost.
You're never going to get any work done.
Dr. Mayer.
You just mentioned about this is the best part of the job, is recognizing the great community partnerships that we have. And what is particularly exciting and special about this evening is the fact that the Price Boys, and they were here this evening, and what they represent, and the fact that the Kingdom of the Sun does so much outreach to the whole community, but there's always so many children in the audience, as well as when you all play at the veterans events, and there's so many kids there, and you're touching those future lives, and you're helping them do that. So on behalf of our 43,000 kids, thank you so much.
Also, just being a professional observer of people, I watched the three boys as they were doing the Pledge of Allegiance, hand on, standing up, and not a one of them missed a word. Not a single word was missed.
Mr. Price is in the reserves. Mr. Price is a proud reservist in the United States Army, and we're so proud he's part of our Marion County school family.
Probably part of it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Ms. Boynton.
Yes, I just want to say thank you. You know, music is one of the things that, you know, since I had this stroke and not really to talk so good, music is a therapy for me. And you can see around. People use music therapy for that. And I want to thank you for you all to thank you so much.
Now, could I ask you to sing something for us?
I can tell you're antsy. I'm going to make mine short and sweet. I just want to thank you for always just graciously and generously giving to our community. You're kind of behind the scenes. Sometimes it's not, but you do so much more than I think people realize. And thank you on behalf of the Marion County School Board.
Thank you. Thank you all.
I will now ask the school board's attorney to explain the rules governing persons who wish to address the school board tonight.
Thank you. In compliance with Florida's Sunshine Law, the school board has adopted uniform procedures for public speakers who wish to speak at tonight's meeting, either regarding one of tonight's agenda items or a matter relating to the operations of the school district. These procedures will ensure the public has a reasonable opportunity to be heard on school board and school district matters. A written summary of these procedures is available from the table in the hallway. Public speaker forms are also located on the same table. The completed forms were due to the school board's assistant no later than 5:40 p.m. Tonight's speakers will be called prior to the business portion of the school board's meeting in the order of receipt. Based on time consideration, the school board, by majority vote, can decide to limit the number of presentations on any one topic, shorten presentation times, move public time to a different position on tonight's agenda, or eliminate the public comment time for this meeting or any other. Before you begin speaking, please state your full name and address and spell your last name. Each speaker will have 5 minutes. When the speaker has 1 minute remaining, the speaker will receive a visual notice to complete his or her comments. Speakers may not yield their time to other people. Speakers and meeting attendees must conduct themselves in a respectful manner. Therefore, verbal attacks, slanderous statements, and profanity are strictly prohibited. Unsolicited commercial solicitations are also prohibited. If there are matters dealing with student discipline, including expulsions, they will be scheduled at the conclusion of the televised portion of this meeting. Parents may address the board regarding a discipline matter at that time. Keep in mind for future meetings that speakers may use handouts or audio-visual presentations, but only if they are provided at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. They must also have a total length of 5 minutes or less. To ensure student privacy, only a parent or guardian may use a student's first or last name, identifying references to or identification of other students and/or their families are also strictly prohibited. Thank you for your attention to the board's requirements.
Thank you. Ms. Flockheader?
Joanne Houghton.
Joanne Houghton, last name spelled Houghton. I live at 711 Northeast 45th Street in Ocala, 34479. Good evening, board members, Madam Chair, and Superintendent Mayor. On September 20th, 2017, for all of us started as any other ordinary day. We woke up, got to our job sites, and for myself, taught campaign propaganda to my little herd of 7th graders. The thing that none of us knew was the sudden loss that was taking place at that time. After school was out, the students on their buses home and our contract hours over. We at Fort McCoy had an announcement that our principal would like to have a meeting with all of us in the library. Come to find out at this meeting, one of our staff members passed away suddenly that day. Mr. Casper, was a 4th grade teacher at our school since 1991, a Golden Apple teacher in 1998. Personally, only being at the school for 4 years, I didn't know her as well as some other teachers did, but I did know of her passion for education. She was a teacher that other teachers strove to be like. I know myself, I personally strove to be like Mr. Casper. She was our champion for kids and staff. She would do everything to support and help you. Every day, she brought a smile to my face and I know to others. Through accounts of people remembering Mr. Casper, one said that she was a teacher who gave me the love of reading. Another said she was a teacher that when the library didn't have a book and I wanted to read, she would go to the store and buy it just so I could read it. She never said anything about this. She never bragged. She never said of how great of a teacher she was. She just did it because it was the right thing to do for the students. I remember at a SAC meeting last year, her face lit up when she was talking about a workbook that she was using with her students who were making gains with this book, and how they were learning to love all kinds of passages. The little things are what made her an outstanding educator. That day, as I taught about bias and symbolism and campaign propaganda, really, Marion County Public Schools lost a great, wonderful, amazing educator. We at Fort McCoy are healing. The kids in all grades have suffered a loss. We had a grief counselor there Thursday for staff and students, though I know Monday several staff and students alike could have used someone to talk with. Friday we wore red in honor of Miss Casper, and I'm wearing red also in honor of her because it was her favorite color. Walking into the cafeteria and seeing the sea of red from our students and their love for her. I am personally saddened also to know that we didn't have a single school board member or anyone come to our school to check on the emotional well-being of our students. At the Fort McCoy, we will heal together. We're a family. We will heal together. But in the words who know Mrs. Casper, we have lost a great person, educator, and friend. Thank you.
Are there any more speakers? That's it. We're going to move along. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda C8.1-C18.1 as submitted? Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Ms. Boynton. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. At this time, I would like to recognize Superintendent Mayer.
I request the chair declare good cause to discuss additional revisions to the 2017-2018 instructional calendar to provide for Hurricane Irma student makeup days.
I declare good cause. May I have a motion to approve the additional revisions to the 2017-2018 instructional calendar, previously board approved on February 14th, 2017, to provide for Hurricane Irma student makeup days? I'm confused. I was like, okay, so moved by Mr. James, seconded by Ms. Boynton. Dr. Mayer?
The revisions to the 2017-2018 instructional calendar reflect 4 student early release days becoming full student days and 1 teacher training day becoming a full student day. These days, combined with the Commissioner of Education's waiver of 2 days plus 2 days waived by me as superintendent because of extra class time already built into every school's daily schedule, more than resolve the 6 missed days due to Hurricane Irma.
Okay, is there any board discussion? Nope. Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, and those that oppose, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the following cash or tangible donations that have a total value of $12,000? $1,000 to Bellevue Elementary School from the Spruce Creek Golf and Country Club, Singles Club. $5,000 to Bellevue Santos Elementary School from the Allstate Foundation. $1,000 to Fort King Middle School from their business partner, Pediatric Associates of Ocala, via the Public Education Foundation. $1,500 to North Marion High School from their business partner, Collision Right Construction Corp. Via the Public Education Foundation. $2,500 to North Marion Middle School from their business partner, Seminole Stores, via the Public Education Foundation. $1,000 to Vanguard High School from Anwar A. Khan, M.D. So moved. Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Mr. James. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And those that oppose, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. Mr. James, would you like to give our thanks?
Oh, yeah. What's the total?
$12,000.
$12,000.
Yes.
I just want to thank all the people that contribute to the Marion County school system. And it's very important for us as a school district to really say thank you, because it's without you giving to the school district, we would be in a whole world of hurt. And especially when you give it to the special projects that you contribute the money to. So that's always a pleasure. So say thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next administrative briefing and work session is scheduled for Thursday, October 5th, 2017 at 9 a.m. The purpose of the work session is to discuss the application for Southeast Marion Charter Academy, corrective action for Ocala Charter Middle, Wyomina Park condition, as well as long-range planning and review of the district-wide attendance zones. And we're going to move along to our board concerns. And Ms. Stacy, will begin with you tonight.
I really don't have anything that's jumping out at me that my brain can get onto right now. So I'll pass tonight.
Okay, Mr. James?
You know, I know he's not going to want to say anything, but you know, Dr. Grantham, I'm gonna have to give you a heads up, and I say thank you. I had an opportunity to go out and mess around with a little football on Friday night, and we were over at Trinity Catholic, and Delaware High School was playing there. Dr. Grantham was come walking across the field. And he had the same mannerism that he have right now. The man looked like he don't get excited about nothing. But the thing that was really interesting about him is that he went in, he made contact with everybody I could possibly see out there. He went down there and he was working with the cheerleaders, and I'm saying, boy, that's unusual. He's down there working with the cheerleaders. I looked over there the next minute. He was down there taking a picture of the kids catching a pass on the field, down there catching a touchdown pass. Then he was up there in the stand listening to a man predict Alabama and what was it? Who was that Goose playing? Yeah, and he was listening there, and this guy said that this he was going to kill Alabama, and he's sitting there. I know he was sitting there thinking the same thing I was in. What planet is he from? And sure enough, it was one of those things when you see your administration out there really involved with things, because it's had nothing to do with the academic portion of the school per se, but it had a lot to do with the spirit and the feel of what's going on. And so when you see people walking around, he could have been home, just like he was telling me, well, I got to be out here to the Marion County Youth Football League, but he took the time to go out there and make a difference out there. And I'm sure the parents and the Booster Club and the people recognized that he was out there, and it made a big difference. So again, on behalf of all the students at Dunellen High School and the people that don't know that you do smile every once in a while, thanks for a job well done out there. You really was impressive.
Ms. Boynton?
I went to North Marion High School, and we had a great lunch with the students there, and it was really, really good. And while we're there, and I've already taught this information to our school superintendent as well, Nancy, I was looking to see if we would have a aviation program. It's airplanes, and because Ocala has a aviation place, where we can do it. So I already put it in. So I hope people will listen for that for our students. And I wanted the board to know the FSBA board meeting will be in Gainesville, October the 25th, and then we will have the legislation meeting October the 26th. And also, I want to thank Ed and this book that you just gave us in, and I think this is a great book. It says the Bible is the higher law in America. And I want to look this, and I want to thank you for this today. Thank you.
A gift from the author, and you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Ms. McCall?
I also wanted to thank North Marion High School for the wonderful lunch that we had there. It's been interesting traveling to these different schools and seeing the differences in the cafeteria, and we need to do some work with North Marion and give them what Westport has if we can. I also checked in with all my principals this week just to see how they were doing after the hurricane, and this week with the kids coming back, and I'm pleased to say that the ones that have gotten back with me have said everything's going well, but you learn lots of interesting things. And tomorrow morning I'm going to go to Legacy and have donuts with dads at 7 o'clock in the morning, find out what that's about. And then tomorrow afternoon I'm going to Bellevue High School. They're having a debate, the students are having a debate on freedom of speech. So it should be very interesting at Bellevue High School. So I love checking in with the principals and seeing what's going on at their schools. So thank you.
Mr. Gibbs? Ms. Luckett? Dr. Mayer?
Mrs. King, how are you? This was a special week because we had a birthday. Yesterday was Miss McCall's birthday. Happy birthday, Miss McCall.
Thank you very much.
It's pink.
That's so sweet.
Yes.
That's so sweet.
Yes, it is.
Dinner.
There you go. Well, and happy birthday to you, because birthdays are an awesome day, and we're glad you're part of the team, so thank you for that. And tonight, we have Officer McBride with us. Hello, thank you for being here tonight, and it's your day off. Thanks for spending it with us. We appreciate that. So anyway, thank you again for being here tonight, and for keeping us all safe and happy. So, and it was a short meeting tonight, too. Yeah, we knocked on wood before the meeting. Okay. We got a letter from Senator Rubio, and he sent us a letter because he found out that we had applied for that STEAM magnet grant. And so he said in his last sentence that I extend my support to your commitment to Marion County students in the efforts for the 6 magnet schools for that. So he's got his pulse on that, and we are still waiting to hear. You know, things are clogged up there in the Federal Department of Education, but at least he is up there advocating for us, and we appreciate that. This past week, a team from the district office led by Mr. Curley went up. Kevin Norton, Dr. Gary, who's the principal at Bellevue Middle, and Mr. Curley, administrator on assignment, went to UNF, to the career fair in Jacksonville. And what they went up for was not a teacher recruitment fair, but it was I call it like regular job people who were graduating. And so they went up to recruit math teachers, science teachers, and they came back with 13 resumes. 7 have scheduled interviews, and they'll keep us updated on that. So time well spent, and we are going to be doing more outreach like that soon. So we want to thank them for taking that time and thinking out of the box to head up there to target those graduates. Mr. Christian and I wanted to remind everybody that on our Marion County homepage, there is a K-12 Connect video posted, and it is the Hurricane Irma wrap-up video, and it showcases the efforts of our Marion County school system and the team that pulled together to open 11 shelters that housed almost 5,000 people. Almost 1,000 of them were special needs people, and we cannot thank our team enough for stepping up and leaving their families and their homes to come to meet the needs of the community, and we are just so proud. So I would encourage everybody in the board, if you haven't seen it, to take a look at that video. There is a portion of the video that is, we read a letter from a principal from Sarasota County who she and her family traveled up here and found, she said, out of nowhere we found North Marion Middle School, and that's because we just kept driving. We couldn't get a hotel, we were almost out of gas, and we found North Marion Middle School. and they stayed there. There were multiple generations of them. Along with her was her grandfather, who was a World War II veteran, as well as a grandbaby, and they all stayed there. They were welcomed with open arms and treated like family, she said. So that is a very emotional video, and I understand you met them when you were there at the shelters checking in. So please do, I just really ask the community to check out that video so that you understand what our people did to step up for the hurricane, because there was no Red Cross. Our people did that, from bus drivers to cafeteria workers to administrators who manned the shelter. So thank you for that. A few weeks ago, all constitutional officers in the state received a raise, and I wanted to share with everybody that I'm very humbled to share that I received a net raise biweekly, and my paycheck will be $144 extra. I can't in good faith accept that, knowing that we have teachers who struggle to pay their bills, and we have custodial workers and bus drivers and groundskeepers and paraprofessionals who we still are working with daily. Thank you, Dr. Ham and Dr. Grantham, for your bargaining efforts to make sure that we are paying them equitably. So I just can't accept it. So what I would like to do, and what I'm going to do, and I have set up a line item with Miss Boston Ellis, that every paycheck, as soon as we get it organized, I'll be donating that money back to the school system, and I'm going to use it to buy books for a school or for a special event or something like that. But I just wanted our people to know that that we're still working to take care of you, and until everything is equitable, that we'll be buying lots of books for lots of kids. And I wanted to share that. And speaking of books, it was quite applicable this week. What do you do with a problem is one of the books for this week. And I would encourage you to, it's a wonderful book for children in the picture book stage, but also older children and adults when you want to have a discussion starter. And the dedication of the book lays out the whole idea of it. May you have enough challenges to keep life interesting and plenty of love to make it all worthwhile. And I think that's something that I can speak on behalf of all of us, that we certainly do. We have our challenges, but we meet them with love and compassion. And in the book, the little boy is pondering, because he says, I don't know how it happened, but one day I had a problem. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I really didn't like having a problem, but it was there. Fast forward, because he continues to avoid the problem, because, you know, if we stick our head in the sand and ignore it, certainly it will go away, right? Wink, wink. And the more I avoided my problem, the more I saw it everywhere. I thought about it all the time. I didn't feel good at all. Fast forward a few pages. When I got face to face with it, I discovered something. My problem wasn't what I thought it was. I discovered it had something beautiful inside. My problem held an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to learn and to grow, to be brave, to do something. It showed me that it was important to look closely, because some opportunities only come once. So now, I see problems differently. I'm not afraid of them anymore, because I know their secret. Every problem has an opportunity for something good. You just have to look for it. And I think I'm so proud to work with you all, because I know that we all see, we don't have problems, we have lots of opportunities, and we approach them with love and with compassion. And the second and last book that I have tonight is a great one. It's a little golden book, and I love little golden books because they bring such happiness when I think about my childhood and all the little golden books that I had. And this one is about our flag. And I thought it was very interesting, because it presents much in what Ms. Gerlach has shared with you before, about how we are doing outreach to our children in elementary with the civics and the history, and how it can be presented in a very developmentally appropriate way where they grow and learn about the greatness of our country. And of course, this book is about the flag and the history of the flag, but something really caught my eye as the daughter of a World War II vet who snuck into the Army at the end of World War II. He had to lie about his age, and he was one of the first people to be in occupied Japan. But here is Iwo Jima. Many years later, during World War II, American Marines won a famous battle on an island called Iwo Jima. The year was 1945, and the victory flag they raised still had 48 stars. And the symbol of them raising the flag at Iwo Jima is one that we all recognize, and certainly our elementary students and high school students will be recognizing this image soon. But it made me reflect today because the Battle of Iwo Jima was from about the middle of February, February 16th, to the end of March in 1945. During that time, President Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, was our president. He died shortly after, at the beginning of April, and then Harry Truman took over. Remembering true history, neither one of them were very nice people. They really weren't. They were very brash. Both were admitted womanizers, and they also had a very, what we would call a robust vocabulary, and used words that weren't commonly used in professional situations, if I may explain it that way. But that and their personalities and them being the president at the time does not take away from this. And as we think about it, that may just be a symbol, but it means so much more. And it means these people didn't die in vain. And it means that my dad, who had to lie to get into World War II, that is why I stand for the flag and will continue to do so. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Dr. Ham?
Thank you. This, I don't have a problem, but I see this as an opportunity, Madam Superintendent. This evening, the board approved the changes to the calendar, but because people are watching on television, I wanted to point out specifically that September 27th, which is tomorrow, November 1st, December 6th, and January 24th, that were early release days, now are full school days. So just in case they missed it in the paper or didn't catch the nuance or see the press release, tomorrow is not an early release day, it is a full day for students. And I thought it'd be a good time to remind them of that because I know everybody's been busy in the post-Irma era. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're just going to move along work time. I want to go ahead and I'm going to thank Principal Brown from North Marion High School. She allowed the school board to visit last week, and it was a lot of fun, and it was also enlightening, just seeing how the cafeterias are ran. And I say cafeterias because they have two, and Ms. McCall, you hit on it earlier that we, really need to be looking at and addressing their concerns and their, logistics of everything, which I'm sure Mr. Robert Knight and Ms. Boston Ellis and Ms. Suzanne Johnson are working on that. But I'm looking forward to see what ideas that will be presented to us shortly for them. I also want to say that last night I had an opportunity, and I think you guys did too, and there may be some opportunities in the future to join a panel for a community discussion. And the panel was Dr. Mayer and her team. And we had Mr. Vianello and Dr. Ham and Dr. Lopez and Susie McGuire, and there was, I think, 11 of us.
Yeah.
I think there was about 11 of us. It was just very enlightening. I learned so much, and I just realized how brilliant these people are. And anytime there's any type of concerns or anything, I encourage people just to reach out, figure out who it is that you need to find and reach out to them, because if they don't have the answers, they surely will find them for you. And it was just It was a nice experience. Miss Jan Hathaway was in here earlier, and she touched a little bit on Reading Pals. I want to talk about it a little bit. I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity to investigate this. That could be anybody sitting in this room or anyone that may be watching this on TV. Reading Pals is when you can take 1 or 2 days a week, depending on your times, in your days that you're available, and you read to a kindergartner. And you're not teaching them, you're just reading with them and talking with them. And it has to be one of the most, nice experiences. It's a lot of fun. Just, you see them grow a lot too in the year. So if you're interested in the Reading Pals, I encourage you to reach out to Jan Hathaway, and her number is 732-6969. And then one more thing I want to address, and then we'll move on with our meeting. And it was about, Mr. Casper, the teacher that came up here. If we can have our staff members just check on Fort McCoy tomorrow and see if that we can be of any assistance and support to them. They were reaching out to us, and so if you can do that and then get back with me too. Okay, thank you. And we're going to move along. Before addressing expulsion matters, I wish to acknowledge that the board members have received the alternative placement list for students through September 8th, 2017. Ms. Flockcutter, are there any parents who have submitted a timely request to speak on their child's disciplinary matters?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of student JD 18-01 with educational services throughout the entire 2017-2018 school year?
Second.
Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Mr. James. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, and those that oppose, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. There being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Mr. James. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, and those that oppose, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0, and our meeting is adjourned at 6:47 PM.